part two, because my time ran out. So we don't know when this photo was taken. Adobe Photoshop, you can change not only the timestamp, you can change the date stamp. But get this, the William Tyrrell website shows that this photo was updated to Facebook originally June the 26th, 2014, William's birthday. That's the metadata. And there's funny things about this photo too, that it looks skewed. It looks like it's been tampered with, right? And it was only handed in days later as the proof of life from the foster family, right? So far, to me, the only proof of life we've got is maybe it's William, or it must be William, at Macca's at 6:35 the night before. So, you know, this Spiderman suit, this photo, it's used to promote, you know, William's missing. Look at him, this little boy in the Spiderman suit. To me, it doesn't look like it's ever been washed. And you'd think since July, if they bought it in Bali, it would have been washed. If they bought it in June for his birthday, it would have been washed. But it doesn't look washed. It's not the Halloween costume, shiny, funny fabric. It is cotton, you know. It doesn't look washed. To me, it looks spanking new. Just my opinion, like everything else in this video. So, this data, this metadata, why would these things be changed? What else isn't right? Well, foster mother wasn't interviewed until a couple of days later. And it was after she went and got her sister from the airport, the local airport, on the 14th, that she's coming up with stories about cars and things. She doesn't say it to the O operator. She doesn't say it when she's first interviewed, but then later these cars appear in her narrative. And trust me, the details change on that over and over again as well. What else is a bit dodge? Well, not only the stories that the foster father is telling, you know, in various interviews about when he gets home, what they did, where the mother was, where they searched. The police forget to interview him. They forget to interview the foster father. We were just so busy getting the dog squads out. We were just so busy fielding all the calls about the case and doing the door knocks and, you know, okay, I mean, they're really busy. They forgot to interview him. They do a walkthrough. Maybe they could count that as an interview. I don't know. But the things that he said in the walkthrough, not the things he says in the interview. And guess what? It's 6 days later. Is this acceptable to you in the case of a missing person, a missing child, when foster parents aren't interviewed? But let's race around to the biological parents' home in Sydney. They had no idea this Kendall trip was arranged. Okay, they had no idea. No one knew. But the foster family and foster grandmother, okay? So, there's just too many questions, because if police have taken all, you know, that they should have from the scene. This is a serious crime scene. The street's not called enough. People are trampling through the home. Foster parents aren't interviewed. There's no sign of William that the dogs find outside of the home. It just seems kooky. And yet there are witch hunts on people that, yes, look, I agree. They're not very nice people. Okay. They've got child molestation backgrounds, etc. You know, there are strange connections. People with Tony Ward, with Seddon, with Savage, with this, with that. There's a lot of people that sort of connect, that have dodgy lifestyles, okay, or may have made dodgy decisions in the past. It doesn't mean that they were living that way now, but, you know, fair enough, right? They have been thoroughly investigated, but their faces, their names, their lives have been laid bare. We still don't know officially who these foster people are. Okay, we didn't know that they were a foster family until 2.5 years later. So this doesn't seem right to me. I want to know that, see, they've gone for holidays and bought new cars since the foster grandfather died. I want to know, did the police track down the original vehicle? Have they got the data from that to... And what data do they have showing where the foster parents were in the months leading up to his disappearance, William's disappearance? Because that photograph is proven to have been tampered with. It's proven. If the timestamp is tampered with, the date could be too. What other lies are these people telling? Because this isn't a case where the time zone is different or where the date on the camera is just wrong. It's not. The photos were handed in later and they're clearly tampered with. The lighting is wrong. William's hairdo looks a little bit wrong. He looks younger than he does in the childcare photo that he was given, that we were given initially. There's, you know, the stories about the mum was sitting on the deck when the father got home, but she'd already been searching in her storyline, she'd already been searching for 25 minutes. This is what she told the 000 operator. And yet another story is, well, you know, it was 5 minutes after she's on the deck that the father says, yeah, should we, you know, they say, should we call 000? And they do, you know. None of it makes sense. It's completely bonkers. In one story, she's gone to the end of the road and heard this, and gone into the bush. You know, none of it makes sense. And okay, it's a confusing time. It's intense. You're terrified, right? But there's no proof that William made it to that home alive, except for that doctored photograph. What do you make of that? What do you make of that? They could have bought that costume for him for his birthday. That photo could have been taken on his birthday. He might not have even been sitting on the deck. This is what some people who have technical ability have said. He could even be imposed over other photographs. You know, it's very strange, these photographs. And we just don't know enough. We can't look it up ourselves. But, you know, when people who have managed to investigate things are saying, it looks like data says the photo was actually originally uploaded on the 26th of June 2014. They're trying to say they didn't have the costume then, that it was bought in Bali. They probably don't have receipts for it if it was bought in Bali. You know, is there any photo of him when he put it on in Bali? Have they shown the police that? We don't know, and we can't research it because we don't know who they are, so we can't go and find social media postings, anything like that, to say, oh, okay, well, here he is in Bali in this costume. We don't know where they stopped. I don't think there was a search along the road where they apparently stopped to put pull-ups on these little children. The foster sister is still with this family. She's had years. They say now, oh, she doesn't remember him, but oh, we keep his memory alive. But oh, she wants to honor him. She wants to, she's had years with this family, probably being brainwashed. She wouldn't know what she saw, what happened, what time this happened, that happened, what day they were where. She wouldn't know. She probably doesn't have a clue. She was 5 years old. She'd be nearly 12 maybe now. Okay, because William, he will be 10 on 26th of June this year. This is soon after we are expecting the inquest findings to be announced, to be given. Okay. I just find it's unacceptable. And okay, people say, look, there was a sighting by this man called Roy, and he thought people were going to come and door knock because that's how it was represented to the public, was that police were going to be door knocking. He thought people would come and ask him questions, and he could say, oh look, I saw a car racing, and then another car, and one of the cars had a little boy in it, in a Spiderman suit. He looked fine, but there was a mother at the wheel, slightly overweight and blonde and looking intense. And, but in one of his versions, there's a cape. And then in another version, he says little Daniel. Well, is he just inserting himself into the story? And is he thinking of Daniel Morecombe, another famous missing boy? Okay. He was a stolen... Daniel Morecombe is another... I might talk about, actually. Well, look, I won't. But, in one of his interviews, he says, yes, and I saw Daniel. And, in another one, he saw the kid with the cape. He's absolutely sure. Is he thinking of Superman? I mean, I believe he may have seen something, but I don't think he's seen William. I really don't. But, there are people that refuse to acknowledge. I'm going to run out of time. Speak to you soon.